Yeah, I am Charlie Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk. Hello, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for checking me out, checking out the show, following the channel if you can on rumble.com/do not talk. Especially, it's been tough getting conservatives to go over to Rumble. They're still clinging, like hanging on like grim death to YouTube, thinking, oh no, I'm getting everything I need from there. Right. Good luck with that. Screw YouTube. They have deplatformed, and they're supposed to be kinder and gentler after President Trump took office. That's a lie, such a stinking lie. Every single one of us who are actually truth tellers, and that means more than anything. Every one of us will tell you story after story of how we've been doxxed, we've been deleted, we've been shut down, we've been shut up, we've had things taken away. They've done everything they can to deplatform us, keep us from communicating with you. It used to be a time, the three networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, then along comes Fox. You had four. Oh, don't forget PBS. 5 channels, period. That used to be it. When I was growing up, I was the remote for my dad for the television. Charles, get up, change the channel, see what else is on. Okay, Dad. Charles, go move the antenna around so it comes in better. Okay, Dad. That's perfect. Just stand there. My job. So I was the remote. They used to have total free reign of all information coming our way, and then the newspapers. And there were some newspapers that were conservative, but very few. In the Sacramento area, where I've spent a lot of my life and career, Northern California, there used to be a conservative newspaper, and it was called The Union. Oddly enough, The Union was conservative, and it was the afternoon paper. And so you had the Sacramento Bee, McClatchy, flaming leftist freaks, and the Sacramento Union, the afternoon. That went away because we didn't support it. That's on us. We didn't buy subscriptions. We didn't support it. So I hope you'll go over to Rumble now, please. If you're not there yet, please go there. You're going to find my guest today, Scott McKAY, the Patriot Street Fighter. You'll find him on Rumble. You'll find a lot of us over there now because on Rumble, we don't get deleted. We don't get shows taken down. We don't violate community standards. Because I don't know what community they're talking to, but I hadn't violated any standards in my community. It's really bad right now. It's hard to get the truth on things. And that's why I'm so excited to talk to Scott. First of all, he's been a mentor to me from the very beginning. I've been a broadcaster all my life, radio and television, and then got into podcasting during the COVID shutdown when the company I was working for, great company, I liked it. I was planning on retiring there. And they fired hundreds of us all across the country on the same day because they were in trouble. They were in trouble financially. When they forced all the businesses to close, those were the advertisers on these commercially licensed with the Federal Communications Commission radio stations could no longer even get advertising out, which is, as a commercially licensed station, you can't ask for donations or anything like that. That's a nonprofit. You got to sell commercials. That's it. That's the only way you can actually make money to keep the lights on, keep the power going, keep the guy behind the microphone talking. Took money, took commercials. That all went away. So Salem Media Group suddenly went, hey, we're doing all right. Oh, crap, no, we're not. Fire everybody. They stayed solvent. They're still around. The company's still viable. But the radio stations are all like, they're on the satellite now, as they call it. They're on the bird. You're not getting local programming through your radio station in your local market anymore. They had to. There's no choice. So I bring all this up and tell you all this just to make you aware of some of my frustrations right now. Because I've been in the media all my life and I've been around liars, frauds, thieves, cheats, and crooks, because that's what permeates the media business for the most part. 98% of them are flaming lefties. Some of them full on, they are pushing because it's exciting to them for revolution, and they want they want complete bedlam and chaos. It's exciting. That's ratings. That keeps their business going, and it's fun for these clowns. Those are the people I've been surrounded with my whole career. So now here I am in podcasting, and it seems to have just multiplied. There's so many conspiracy theories going on right now, but the thing about a conspiracy theory is what is once a theory seems to be fact 6 months later. Just give it time. There's one thing going on right now that I want to talk to Scott about because I know he's done shows on this, and it's about this universal income thing. I've watched him do shows with Jaco and Nino, and I've heard them talking about this. And I'm like, this sounds like New World Government, One World Order kind of crap. This sounds very nefarious to me. As a Christian, a follower of Christ Jesus, I don't know what to think about all this. Or is it even true? Let's get him into the mix now. Scott McKAY, the Patriot Street Fighter on Do Not Talk. Ready? Hit it. What's up, stud?
Well, what's up is the fact that all the conspiracy theories that we've all talked about for the last 6 years has now forced us to create some new ones because all those other ones came true. So
they will come true.
Yeah, so it's time to come up with some new conspiracy theories.
I have been, I got some friends who are, they're not all, but I've got a few who are fringe. And they send me stuff all the time. And there's this guy named Big Daddy. He's some Canadian now living in the Philippines. And he swears that all this is going to happen. The EBS is going to go off, which, by the way, EBS stands for Emergency Broadcast System. In the media and FCC, we haven't called it that for, 20 plus years. It's not even called that. It's called EAS, Emergency Alert System. So that makes me suspect right there. This guy's supposed to know all this stuff's coming. He doesn't even know that it's EAS, not EBS. And it's all going to happen, and it's days away, and we're all going to have to report to our place of birth to pick up our money that we're going to get. We're going to have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and if you even talk about it, they'll take your money away, and you will get more money if you say nice things and you're a good person. I'm like, well, that's ESG crap. That's what China's doing. That's what they were trying to force on us. You're only going to get money if you're good. Otherwise, we're going to take it away. That scares the heck out of me that everybody's all excited about that and they're thinking this is a good thing. Am I misunderstanding it, or is it completely just a bunch of crap? Help me out, Scott. You're dialed in.
I don't know what part could be true there. The EBS, or Emergency Broadcast System, whatever that system is of communication, they've been saying for the last 5 years, I've listened to all these podcasters and people saying this date, the EBS is going live, and, it's going to be kumbaya, money's going to rain out of the sky on us, all that. And I'm not discounting the idea that, the Farm Claims Act or the NASARA Act is not all true and valid, and that those things are rolling out, I believe, behind the scenes in their certain capacities slowly, so you can introduce the new global architecture of banking, payments, finance, whatever, slowly, because just massive change is so disruptive and people would be flipping out. And as people do, they need a slow transition so they don't get too excited, because when they do get too excited, they don't use their brain, they use their emotion, and they get upset and do stupid things, in my opinion. Whether that's going to happen or that's another projection that they keep putting out there, I just dismiss them out of hand every time. Like, okay, we'll see. We've heard, I've never done that in this podcast world. I've never said this is going to happen this time and date. I did make some predictions on when the economy in a season may have its downturn or collapse. It didn't actually happen, but outside of that, I just don't pay attention to that stuff.
What is this high universal income? I guess that's an Elon Musk. He's been promoting that. It's all going to be great. We're all going to be wealthy. The tariffs have a whole thing about there's a golden eagle that's somewhere in the sea, and that shows that we're now debt free. and we just don't know it yet. What do you know about all that?
I don't. I'm glad you said that because I get to learn a lot of things from people that interview me because I don't focus on the daily minutia of this operation. I've done that for 3 decades of my life. It was boring. So in 2020 came around, we obviously were in the space with starting Patriot Street Fighter and radio show to do the same thing I've always done for 3 decades. But over time, it transitioned into away from the daily analysis because there's enough people out there doing it. It's like everybody's out there doing it. They're doing a good job. They don't need me. I want to focus on being out in the world, getting people in the fight, getting them in to meet the bullshit of their local school boards, increasing taxes, boondoggle spending, their city and town councils, same bullshit. Encouraging people to get out in their faces. Like in your face means get to a school, get to these meetings that they have by the hundreds, because that's what puts an end to this bullshit. But what is coming? The high universal income, to me, pardon me, oh, get to bed, well, go to bed. I want to make sure he stays on his little cot there where he's going to be chewing his.
You got a dog? You got a dog?
Yes. Come on.
What you got? There's Spike.
You know who Tomahawk is? That's Tomahawk.
Hey, pup, come on over. Let the dog into the show, man. I'm all about dogs, big time.
He always jumps in the end of my shows.
That's good. This is Spike right here.
Yeah, he's a cute little bugger. Hey, Spike.
My little boy
hey,
Spike.
But I like universal high income to me, and Elon's talking about it, is because they're probably talking about Nasara. They're talking about the recapture of the sovereign wealth of all the planet from all the criminals, from the Vatican, from the royal families, all that kind of stuff, from the Philippines, wherever. I believe there's going to be a repatriation of the massive, untold wealth that's been stolen by this power structure for thousands of years, and it's going to be released on the planet for the experience of all of humanity. So I believe those things are likely. They're very possible, plausible. I think they're likely. I think that's why they talk about this stuff. It's just a matter of timing's everything. They got to make sure that they deconstructed this criminal apparatus that could steal things like they can digitally or whatever. They got to make sure.
Fed's got to go. Fed should have never happened. The Federal Reserve, which is not federal, it's not government, and there is no reserves. They're loaning back our own money, our own tax dollars to us, and we have to pay it back with interest. What the hell? What's that whole plan? That was a bad one. And that's what we've been under since 1913? This is just damn ridiculous. It has created a society of nothing but debt. And I love the idea of the Fed going away and us going back to the gold standard. But then when I hear people talking about the gold standard, precious metals and so on, backing currency so it actually has the value that it's supposed to have. It's something tangible, something you can hang on to. And it's real, not based on what some goofball down in wherever the Fed is says it's worth. It's monopoly money what we have now. I've just been waiting for that ultimate total collapse because it's worthless. It's just paper. So if we can get back to that, that's exciting. But when I do hear people talking about the gold standard, they throw in like Bitcoin and digital currency. And I'm like, whoa, wait. Why are you throwing that in? I can't hold that. I don't know that that's real. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, I believe they've already rolled the Fed into the Treasury Department. I believe that's already been captured. And the IRS, all those things, they're going to be, you read these things about executive orders that Trump's put out, that it's already been gone away. Look, I know one of my friends was at the IRS building in DC in 2021, and it's boarded up, closed, out of business, right? You say, how come the IRS is still coming after some people? Well, they have many buildings, right? They have many buildings. They have many criminals. They're all over the place. And it's just kind of like when Russell J. Gold captured the Title IV flag in 1999 after the third and final bankruptcy of the United States to ensure that in that 18-day period of the vacation of the Ben Franklin Post Office in Philly, that if nothing had happened, then the British Crown basically takes over us again. And he saved us from that. And, at that point in time when he captured that Title IV flag, Bush knew it, Shrub, Bush, and Cheney and Rumsfeld, they all knew it. and he was in Washington D.C. with the flag. It was already legged into the Pentagon. He patented it, legged it in with the Pentagon, legged it in with the United Nations, and 200 nations voted on to give him, him legal status as a flag of the land of the United States because it had been captured. And so they've acknowledged it, right? So therefore, because they've acknowledged it, the president, in fact, Clinton was actually in power when this all went down, and he was overseas, and he got the phone call. We're in deep shit. Why? Told him why. We've got Navy ships in ports around the world. No ship can move anywhere out of port on the water without a flag, a nation's flag. You don't have a flag, you don't move. So the Navy had to sign on with Russell J. Gold and lease the Title IV flag from Russell J. Gold as a legitimate constitutional commander-in-chief and president of the United States because he captured the flag. Now, what did Cheney and Bush and company, like, who cares? Nobody knows. Nobody understands it. Plus, you don't have an army. Go fork yourself. That's what they said to him, right? Because you didn't have an army. So these people will carry on as they do. There are aspects of the IRS, probably institution players, that'll carry on, keep sending letters to people, say you owe us money, and people get scared and send them money. When the IRS code simply says it's voluntary, 100% voluntary. It's just that people have to be willing to stand up, but you got to be prepared. You got to have the law in front of you. You have to know you got to know your shit before you try to go down that track. Because if not, they're criminals. They'll crush you. But if you can bury them into a corner with legal framework that you owe them nothing for any reason and never have, then they're gonna come after you to do things that. But if you stand your ground and keep sending them letters, show me proof. Send me proof that it is required by me to pay taxes, income. Show me proof. Send me the legislation, the documentation. Send it. Just keep sending the letter. They won't. They can't. They don't have it. That's why they can't. That's why they eventually just drop off and let you go, and they go bother somebody else.
I've seen a video of one of these guys. That's this whole thing about you don't have to pay the IRS, and that it's unconstitutional anyway for them to be doing an income tax like that, federal income tax. And he was saying just signing, okay, last tax year, 2025, and you fill it out and you jump through all their hoops to see if you get any money, your money back from them. And you sign that, just that signature gives them permission to, okay, you're paying again next year. That commits you. So don't sign it, is all he was saying, and then you'll just drop off. That all sounds way too easy to me.
Well, probably is. They're going to, again, they got you in a system, and they're going to send you letters, and they do what they do. The question is, how do you respond to it? There are many people in this country, millions and millions, that don't even file a tax return, and they leave them alone. Why? Because if they take them to court, they're going to have an attorney. If they have the balls to not file anymore, or give them the voluntary signature, which just shows it's voluntary, they have the balls to do it. They can back it up. So when they do back it up, they've got proof. They've got they've got all the proof in their court. So they just follow through it, and eventually the IRS just leaves them alone. That's many stories I've had from people that have gone through this process.
What do you think is coming this year? How bad is it going to get? Are we going to have a false flag event? Are we going to? I mean, it's an election year, so I think it's hilarious that they still keep trying to come up with COVID 2.0. Monkeypox or whatever, they all just keep trying because it worked. It worked. Happened? It made us scared. It made us mask up. It made us not go to our polling place and instead vote by mail. It worked. So why wouldn't they try it again? But we don't seem to be falling for it this time around. So they're going to have to pull out all stops, because this seems to be the end of the line for the Democrats, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, what happened to the murder hornets? I feel like I missed the murder hornets. Whatever happened to those?
The murder hornets.
What happened to the murder hornets? They were supposed to invade the U.S. and I feel like I missed that. Where'd they go?
I forgot about those. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Yeah, who knows what's next?
Yeah, what do you think is happening?
I think we'll find out tomorrow night.
Thursday night's going to be big. Yes, the president's going live at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
we'll see. I've heard this for 5 years. The next announcement is going to be, and all of them have been nothing burgers. Every one of these nothing burgers. Not everybody builds up. Trump speaking again. Here it comes, and then I never watch any of it because the next day. So what happened? Nothing. No, he just So I don't get caught up in that. Doesn't mean that this isn't going to be the time that he's going to, if he's going to be. Again, I saw somebody say he's going to be flanked by the director of national intelligence, CIA director. DOJ, head of DOJ, and FBI. These big players, department and agency heads in areas of justice, are going to be flanking Trump on the stage, and therefore the speculation is the information is going to come out is the absolute verifiable evidence of foreign election interference in the 2020 election. And if that's the bomb that they drop, then I would say get ready, buckle up. Here comes the ride we've been waiting for.
I think so too. It's going to be interesting. Are they going to postpone the elections? They, as in President Trump administration, try and postpone the elections, or are they going to plow through one way or the other? Because we don't have a lot of stuff in place that I really thought was going to be an easy pass, like the Save America Act, where it's actually required to show an ID to vote and so on. It's just common sense, and 80% of the population agrees with it and wants it, and we haven't gotten it passed yet. Do we postpone the election for that because of the interference, or what do you think is going to happen?
Has to be done. If we can't get that, but more importantly than that, that's not enough. The showing your proof of residence, proof of birth here, that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is we've got an election theft, a global election theft system that's still intact. Trump wrote an executive order that all these counties around the country, over 3,100 counties, have failed to comply with Trump's executive order on getting their shit together in these elections, the cycles, processes. So they're still hanging on to the same internet connected voting machines, all this bullshit. We can't have an election. If we still have these voting machines, no election makes a difference. There's no election make a difference. This has to be handled. I believe it's possible Trump may issue a declaration of a national emergency on this critical infrastructure that needs to be rectified, which is the election system. Because again, if they're going to steal the election, what good is the election? If we don't have fair elections, we don't have freedom.
No. And states like California, my state, is absolutely going rogue. Regardless of what the federal government says, how you have to run your elections, they will do what they want to attain their goals and pay the price later, because they realize this could be the end of them, even in California.
Let me speak directly to anyone considering helping President Trump interfere with our election or our count. If you violate California's laws, if you interfere with our voters, tamper with our ballots, or meddle in our election, you will be prosecuted. Doesn't matter who gave the order. That's why I'm moving forward with new legislation that would make it a felony to seize ballots before the vote has been certified by state and county officials. We will be the wall he cannot get past, because we believe that once an election is decided, the winner governs for everyone. That's the architecture of American liberty. Donald Trump, he doesn't believe in that architecture.
So they've pulled out all the stops. They've literally frickin' gone rogue. Our Governor Hairdo is threatening anybody who actually threatens to look into our elections here in California. They've stopped they've done the Stop Nick Shirley Act. They're making it illegal for anybody to actually grab ballots like Sheriff Chad Bianco did, and still has them, by the way. A lot of them, because it's a crime what happened. It's a crime, election fraud is. And he still has those ballots but can't do anything with them because one judge has said, yeah, you can't count those. What do you mean I can't count those? I'm the sheriff. I'm an elected representative of the people, law enforcement, the only kind like it that's constitutionally protected. What do you mean I can't count these? But he's not. They're just sitting there. But Governor Hairdo and all his little demons all had their little midnight session and came up with this whole Prop 70 or AB 73 anyway, is to try and stop that kind of thing from ever happening again, and to go after Sheriff Bianco for daring to actually investigate. This is insane what's happening here. How can President Trump rein in a state that's like, screw you, we don't care what you do, we're going to do what we want?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. That's an unknown variable. The stuff that goes on in California. Again, I don't. I think the only way that we have true and fair elections is with the help of the military, just like we did in Iraq. In Iraq, same thing. Military manning all these.
Remember
precincts.
them all with the purple finger? That was so cool.
Yeah, purple finger.
Cool. Yeah,
they ain't gonna figure. Show they voted.
Yeah.
I just think that I don't know. We'll see. It's. I think we just have no election until they can end this bullshit of the election machines. Period. They're wired for fraud. They're wired to be changing the votes. It's already been proven. And now it has to be proven in public in the court of law. But there is no election without getting rid of these machines.
Amen. And the mail-in ballots. I'm not talking about absentee voting. I'm talking about the mail-in ballots. They're completely fraudulent. No easier way to cheat. But what's on your mind? What's in the world of the Patriot Street Fighter that you want to share with us today?
Well, pretty much, what my theme has been for a while. I'm on the road this summer, doing some small events around the country, impromptu, to try to get people out to understand that they have to come out in the open. They've got to start fighting, not the country, not the criminals on top, start taking back their own communities, their own counties. Start taking them back, put an end to the corruption, the nepotism, the glad handing, the bullshit going on with the school boards in the country and the city and town councils, all that stuff. You got to start showing up. You got to start challenging these people. They've done everything with impunity, no opposition whatsoever. It's kind of like a guy said once, he said, what the two greatest problems in America are today, to his buddy. He said, what do you think the two greatest problems are? He says, I don't know. He said, ignorance and apathy. I said, what do you think about that? He says, I don't know, and I don't care. So kind of where we are, right? And
it's exactly where we are.
That attitude is going to bring the pain to the doorsteps of every American household, because the threat's real. And if you're going to wait till it hits your doorstep, you have a choice. I've said for a long time, Americans are going to fight one way or another. When this all comes down, they're going to fight by choice or by force. Fighting by choice is now to mitigate the damage that will happen before it gets completely out of control. Most people seem to want to wait until they have no choice, and now it's on your doorstep, and you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight to protect your family, your livelihood, your own life, because it'll be on your doorstep. You're either going to comply or say, I'm not marching into this prison of tyranny. I'm not going to do it. Then you're really going to be fighting that. We just do it right now. If we all did in this country right now, we'd put an end to this bullshit literally in 30 days, 30 to 60 days. Put an end to all of it. We'd have all the criminals on the run, leaving posts, leaving their boards, leaving the councils. Just get out of Dodge, good people taking over, and start writing this shit and end the bankruptcy spending from all these clowns.
Let's start with getting registered to vote. My fellow Christians here in California, only 40% are actually registered to vote. That's abysmal. We could turn this whole state around, just the Christians, in an election or two. So go to registertovote.ca.gov. Get registered. This is the year. This is imperative that we get involved. Registertovote.ca.gov. Now, you might be saying to yourself right now, why should I get registered to vote? Because Scott McKAY, the Patriot Street Fighter, just suggested there might not even be any elections this November. That's a valid question.
Well, look, that's like saying I'm not going to have any bullets in my gun or even have a gun in my hand. We might be going to war. Why would you say, yeah, I'm not worried about having a weapon? We might be going to war. I'm not worried about that. Well,
right.
We might have an election, which means you need to be registered to vote. Because even though they may steal it, we still need overwhelming numbers. We need overwhelming numbers against the opposition, because there has to be a case to prove in court if necessary.
The media and the left have, which is one and the same, have very, very successfully indoctrinated all of us into thinking our vote doesn't count. So why should I even try? It doesn't matter. And congratulations, sucker. You've been MK Ultra'd or whoever, whatever, however, you've been suckered into believing that your vote doesn't count. We've been blessed with a government that actually gives us a voice in deciding who's going to be calling the shots for us. And you're going to abdicate that privilege, that right, that honor to be able to do that to the wind, to the media, telling you, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really, why even try? Why even bother? It's, this is such an imperative year. I always hear media people saying it's the most of, especially Sean Hannity, most important election of our lifetime. And,
they say that every election, every single
stinking election. But I really believe that this is actually this time true. If we don't get a solid majority in the House and the Senate, all they're going to do is tear down and attack President Trump, and he will get nothing done. And we got to get rid of the rhinos. Let's start there, but let's get registered to vote. registertovote.ca.gov. Scott, I just value your friendship so much, and you took out your time from your little vacation there and visiting family to actually talk with me, and I wanted to get you on before this president's speech tonight and just get your thoughts on what you think is coming. Thank you, my friend. Where do we find you? How do we get involved with Scott McKay if we aren't already?
PatriotStreetFighter.com is the best place to find my social media on the top of the page, because you can land on the Rumble page, you can land on X, whatever. And it's imperative you start there, because there are too many channels out there that are parroting my stuff, my trademarks, logos, all that, pretending to be me, so they can try to rip people off, sell them stuff, convince them to send them QFS money.
Really?
Oh, crazy. I mean, I've got an orphanage in Canada that somebody's been donating to for years. I'm like, I don't want what you're talking about. I don't have an orphanage in Canada. That's kind of stuff that goes on out there. So I say in my channel, if you don't see it coming from my mouth live on the channel, it's not me. If you don't find it in a description box on that channel, it isn't me. If you get anything through my face or my PatriotStreetFighter.com and you get the social media through that, you're landing on the right sites. So don't be taken advantage of.
That's scary as heck. That was my first experience with having Juan O'Savin on my show finally, who I believe I found out about him through you. Extraordinary gentleman. I really enjoyed it so much, and he's so dang smart. And then I posted the show, and when I went to my page on Rumble, all these things popped up of me with Juan O'Savin on other people's channels. Like, what the heck is this? Happened before. It's probably happened with you too when I had you on. It was the freakiest thing. And then I'll click on it and I'll watch it, and they've cut me out. It'll be just Juan. You'll just see his side. You won't see my side. You'll still hear me, but I get no credit. It's the strangest thing. But thank you, my friend. I honor you very much. You've honored me. All right, my friend.
Much love.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks, buddy. I really, really appreciate him so much. And my website is charliesimons.com, CharlieSimons.com. And you can help this show by buying some of my merchandise. Let's talk about politics and religion. This is a big old 15-ounce coffee mug. It's a nice, large thing. I got shirts and hats and all kinds of stuff there. You buy some of it, they split the profits with me, and you'll be helping me stay on the air. Thank you for your time and your attention. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America, but most importantly, America bless God.